afternoon. I am
afternoon.
Evangelist and Minister Lisa Johnson from Oasis Community Development Center and Oasis Church International and the Mental Health Coordinator. I invite you here today. I'm so excited. We are back to school with our youth, and we are inviting you here today to see our very first after school, after the students have enjoyed their summer, and welcome to our fall. We're going to have our first mental health forum, and it is mental health back to school, and it's for parents and youth. And we have a dynamic presenter on today, and her name is Hope Kleckley. She is a registered mental health counselor, and she is also an educator in the Palm Beach County School District. And I am going to present to you none other than Ms. Hope Kleckley, and she will give you some more information about herself before she presents. I'm going to ask you all to share this live with anyone that you know, and it is regarding the mental health of our youth and parents understanding, as well as our youth understanding their mental health and what to do about their mental health. Thank you, Hope.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Oasis Church International, for having me today. Thank you to all of the participants that are here on screen with us, parents and youth. It is such a pleasure to be here to talk about something that I'm very passionate about. My name is Hope Kleckley. I am a clinical mental health therapist in the community. I service youth ages 5 and up and adults as well. I'm also a school counselor at Lake Park Elementary in Lake Park, Florida. Before that, I was a school behavioral health professional, and prior to that, I was a teacher. And before coming back to the school district, I was working in the community as a regional manager with Humana. So I have a lot of background. I'm originally from Belle Glade, Florida, but you know, in November, me and my family, we moved to Port St. Lucie. We closed on our home. So I want you guys to know, first and foremost, that it does not matter where you're from, where you were born, where you grew up, that everybody has some type of struggle with mental health. It could be coping skills. It could be anxiety. It's anything that is troubling you could be perceived as a mental health illness, mental health disorder, mental health dysfunction, something with your mental health that is happening. And over the last 2 years with COVID, it has really brought to light a lot of the struggles that everyone is now facing. More so with our youth and the difficulty that they've been having coping with being home and being virtual, and then having to go back to campus, and even now coming back to school. And then there's a new situation out there, you know, called monkeypox. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to deal with on a daily, as well as making sure our youth are okay. So I want you guys to have your questions ready, because we're going to kind of dig into it. We're going to dig deep and talk about some things that we aren't comfortable talking about, because in the African American community, there is still a big stigma. A lot of people don't want to talk about mental health, but they don't even know where to begin to talk about it. They don't know what it is. They don't know what's true, what's fake, unless somebody talks to them about it. And if you have a family member that is struggling with their mental health, I want them to know that there's always help. We have help available everywhere, in your church, in your schools, in the community. Law enforcement is available to help. And one of the big myths with law enforcement is that, you know, a lot of people are scared of law enforcement because of past experiences. But I want you to know that now is the time we have to bridge the gap. And we have to be open. So I want you guys to identify who your safe person is, who your safe buddy is, who your safe adult is. And it does not have to be your parent. It could be someone at your school. It could be somebody at your church. It could be your neighbor. But I need you guys to know who your safe buddy is, who your safe adult is in the event that something happens, you're experiencing a mental health crisis, or someone you know, so that you can connect those people together. Okay? All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you can see my presentation. Are you guys good? Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. So it's titled Mental Health in Youth. And again, my name is Hope Kleckley, and you see all my credentials on the screen as well. And we are virtual. So I just want to introduce you to me, who Hope is. So you see a picture of myself, but on the right, you see my family. So this is who I represent on a daily basis. So as you can see, and I'll just hover over, this is my granddaughter and this is my granddaughter. So all of the other kids are my children. There's only one missing, my daughter, Koya. She's the only one that's not on the picture, but these are her two children. So when we talk about youth, I can speak from a personal level because I have to look at how many daughters I have and my sons. This is my youngest, and he's 8. His name is Jawan. This is Soraya, Johnny, Anaya, Jada, Tasia. This is Taylor, and this is Makari. You know, this is my husband, Johnny. So when I think about mental health, I can't just think about how it focuses on the youth that I serve in the community and the youth that I serve in the school district. I have to also think about how it affects my own children. So me being a therapist, they know that I kind of go harder on them because my expectations are more. So I want you guys, my participants, I know you guys have a cell phone. I want you to pull up a picture of your mom or your dad, or if you're the parent, your child. And I want you to look at your child, you know, the features that you see in that picture. It could be a smile. It could be them crying. It could be them laughing. But I want you to picture that moment. And I want you to take that with you, because that is what you see now. And then I want you to think about the moments you don't see, the moments that they're shielding from you. Because right now, as you can see on the portrait, my children are smiling, but they're not always smiling. And our youth are not always smiling, and they're not always happy. And sometimes they cover the way that they're feeling with a smile. So you got to be able to discern what's actually happening in their mind without them actually telling you. Because 100% of the time, if you're not their safe place, their safe person, they're not going to open up. So today we're going to focus on trying to bridge that gap so that even if that youth is smiling, they're still comfortable in their skin, and that smile is not hiding depression or anxiety or any thoughts of loneliness that they're feeling in the moment. We want them to be able to trust us and know that we're here as a support and not just as their parent, okay? So a question that I have for you is, we're gonna focus on gratitude. What are you grateful for right now? What's giving you energy? What's filling your bucket, helping you to feel good today? So this question is for my youth participants. What gives you energy? What do you do to fill your bucket up daily? When you're going to school, when you come home, what are you grateful for?
Okay, I do need some youth to participate. So I know I have a youth out there that will let us know what you're grateful for.
Austin and Andrea said they're grateful for family. Okay. Anything else? What gives you energy, Austin? Nevaeh says, my mother being around me all the time. Okay, music. I like music too. Nevaeh, what kind of music do you like?
I would say Afro.
Okay.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. That's not something that I think I've listened to a lot. So I'm gonna have to get into that. Okay. Olivia, what are you grateful for? What makes you feel good? What made you feel good today? Okay, family. Okay. Uh-oh, sorry. Okay, so you guys say that you're grateful for family. So I'm grateful for my family too, but I'm also grateful for a peace of mind. You know, I know that it gets stressful, even though we just went back to school and we're just 7 days in. I know that for a lot of people, it's still a lot. A lot of people may not have school clothes. If you have to wear uniforms, you may not have your uniforms. You may not have school supplies, but those are minimum things that we can get past, right? What are you going to do to fill your bucket to release some of the stress that you have going into this school year? I'm not sure what grades you guys are in, but regardless, if you're in middle school, if you're in high school, what are you going to do to make sure that your bucket is filled daily? How are you going to do that? What kind of coping skills are you using? And if you guys don't know what a coping skill, tell me that so we can talk about what it is.
Personally, I like listening to music, and I feel like listening to music whenever I can is a good way to release stress.
Okay, I like that. I listen to music too. So one thing that I do, because like I said, I live in Port St. Lucie and I drive to Lake Park, which is in Palm Beach County. So on the ride, my children used to go to school in Palm Beach County. So they would be with me and they would want to listen to the radio. Just like you said, listen to music. But for me, that's my serenity. That's my calming station. So that's me getting ready to prepare myself for the day. So what I do now is I drive to work in silence. A lot of people are not comfortable in silence, but I'm grateful for that moment. So when I say I'm focusing on gratitude, I'm grateful to be able to drive to work in a calming state because I don't know what's ahead. I don't know if God is going to be able to block any dangers in my path in that moment, but I'm praying that that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to be grateful for those moments that I have leading up to me interacting with my students in the morning. Okay. I'm going to be grateful because I can reflect on my day before and what I want my day to look like ahead. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you follow what I'm saying? So I'm filling my bucket with all the things that I'm grateful for going to work. My serenity, which is my silence, my peace that I'm getting on my way to work. You know, I'm not focusing on all the students I may have to see or what I don't have, just on that moment, because we're going to take it steps at a time. You don't want to overload yourself being worried all day. Okay. So say I had an issue the day before, I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to own it. So whatever happened the day before, if it was me leaving my homework or I didn't bring something to school that the teacher asked, you're going to leave that stuff in the past because the new day is just that, a new day for you to start over. You get a second chance to focus on yourself and your mental health. So a part of balancing your mental health is self-care. So that's a big, big, big thing. So that's going to be a part of you filling your bucket with self-care. That's going to help you feel good. If you can't find something to feel good about, think about something you like. You guys said your family is important. You like listening to music. I know some of you guys like going shopping or going to the mall or hanging out with your friends. And some people may even like reading. Whatever it is that is your thing, it's it's me. This is what gives me pleasure. It's my self-care. Do that. Practice that every day because that's going to help you fill your bucket. It's going to help you feel grateful for another day. Okay. Okay. I love what Olivia said. She said she write down goals for the day. And then Austin came back and said that he likes video games and basketball. Make sure you're doing those things. Don't stress the mess. Have you guys ever heard that saying, don't stress the mess? Whatever is not working, you can write down a goal and you can set a plan to work on that to make it work for you. Because at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're okay. And if you're not okay, I need you guys to, again, identify your safe person. It could be a friend. And if that friend is close to Miss Lisa, for example, then that friend can go and say, hey, Miss Lisa, my friend Hope, she's having some problems. She doesn't really know or who her safe person is. So I said, you're my safe person. So I think that maybe us together, we can help my friend identify some of the challenges she's having. That is called building relationships. So the other thing that I want you guys to do is learn to build relationships with the people that you interact with, the people in your community, in your circle. And it doesn't have to be your family. It doesn't have to be your mom. It doesn't have to be the lady at your church. It could be your friend's mom. Whoever that person is that makes you feel comfortable to open up to them, then that's what you do. But don't feel like you have to be with a specific person. It doesn't work like that. It's all on you. Okay, so Ms. Lisa asked the question, what about parents who are here that have children who are younger, ages 5 and 6? So my students that at my school, we have VPK all the way to 5th grade. So what I tell my younger students, the same thing. I need them to identify who their safe buddy is. Because at that age, you know, younger kids, they always, you know, like some people say they vomit out of the mouth, like they say stuff. And sometimes you're like, well, you shouldn't have said that. I still want them to identify who their safe buddy is. And I want them to be comfortable with going to their parents. But this goes back to us having conversations with our children. When your child comes home, parents, are you having a conversation with them about their day? How did your day go, little Johnny? You know, what did you learn today? What happened in school? Because it's not always bad. It's just some things they don't know. Do you know what bullying is? Talk to your children about these things because they need to be able to identify what a bully is and identify what bullying is not. If they can't discern the difference, that's when a parent has to step in, especially when it's a younger kid, like 5 or 6 years old. But remind them that on campus, when they're not with you, these are the supports that they have. They can go to the school counselor. On every campus in the school district of Palm Beach County, there is a BHP, a behavioral health professional. And this person is there to assist their youth with coping skills and other strategies to make sure their day is going as it should. So they can reach out to that person. Every school should have a mental health team. That we on most campuses, we have co-located therapists. And these are therapists that work with outside agencies that are contracted with the school district of Palm Beach County. And these agencies have these people on campus and they are there as an extra support as well. The safe person on campus for some students may be their SRO, their school resource officer. These people are always available. In the classroom, you have your teacher. If this is a teacher that you don't like, and this is mostly for my older youth, if you don't like your teacher, who else on that campus do you have a great relationship with? It could have been your 2nd grade teacher and you're in 5th grade. It could be your 8th grade administrator if you're in middle school. It could be the cafeteria lady at your high school because she gives you extra food. It could be the custodian because he lets you help him sometimes. Whoever that person is, I need you guys to be able to identify them. And parents, I need you to get more involved with what's happening at the schools. A lot of things are happening. A lot of students are struggling, but as a parent, what is your role? How are you impacting the community in which your child attends school? Do you know the principal? Do you know the deans or the APs? Or do you know that there is a BHP on campus to help your child? Or that the school counselor may have a little bit more community resources than you thought. So I need you guys to continually fill your bucket with things that you need. What do you need to make your day feel good? What are you giving your energy to? Negative or positive? And how can we change that narrative if it's more negative energy than positive? It is also important to have more than one safe person in case your first is not available. 100% true. 100% true. So it is okay to have another safe person. You can have 10. It could be one on every corridor or every hallway. It doesn't matter. There's not a set amount of safe people you should have. You can have however many you feel is appropriate for you. It could be someone, it could be a couple of people at your church, at your after school program, at your school, in your community. where your friends live, at your grandparents' house, in another state, somebody you talk to when you're playing video games, whoever that person is, just be able to identify who those people are in your circle. And parents, get to know your children, because if you don't know who these safe people are for your kids, or who your children's friends are, how can you support them more or know what's happening in their life if they're getting bad energy, if they're getting positive energy, and promote that? Okay. So some of the things we're going to learn about today is we're going to define what mental health is. We're going to discuss some myths and facts. We're going to discuss recovery, discuss coping skills and strategies you can use in the community, some community resources, questions, and I have a video that I really want to show you guys, but I'm not really sure I am, because it's a little on the uppity side. I'm going to show you a little clip of it. How many of you guys know who Kevin Gates is? Raise your hand if you know Kevin Gates. Okay, so Kevin Gates is somebody who has been really open with talking about his struggles with mental health and, you know, how it's made him feel. So I know a lot of youth listen to him and they kind of, you know, sometimes they miss what he's really talking about. But in this little piece of a clip that I'm going to show you really quick before we start, he kind of goes into detail about some of the struggles he's had with his own mental health and how he felt at some point he felt suicidal. Okay. So this may trigger some feelings for some people. So if it does, I do want you to practice self-care. And if you feel like you need to take a moment and step back, I want you to do that too. But know that we're here to support you throughout this process. But I just want to give you a glimpse into it.
Before. December 12th, December 10th through the 12th was the hardest for me this year, because when I disabled my Instagram, I had this is my first time ever speaking about this publicly. I had put on Twitter all my friends and my family for kicking out my teachers. I love you all. It's over with. See, I don't do man, I'm about to kill myself. I don't want no attention. Man, I'm about to, I'm gonna get this. I don't do no horse playing. That's horse playing. Yeah. When you talk about it, I was gonna, the way of the samurai. Just smash myself, because I was to the point I didn't want to live no more. That last video I had posted when I was holding my daughter, rocking her, I did a birthday in Cabo in Mexico. I did all of that. I made sure that she had the best birthday ever. I was just holding. I knew that was my last time seeing her.
This was this past December?
Not this December, but the December before that. December marked the anniversary of that.
Gotcha.
What sparked that though? I wasn't happy.
Now, he said he wasn't happy, and he was going through some things. And a lot of times we're going through some things, but we don't let people in so that somebody else knows what's happening with us. We just hold it in and we go about our day. And it's not just the youth, it's parents too. Like, a lot of youth don't understand the struggles that their parents are trying to manage daily, because you don't see that part. All you see is, my mom bought me some Jordans, or we going to Disney World, or we going on vacation, we going to the cabins for Christmas, or I'm getting a PS4, I got some jewelry. You see that, but you don't see the struggle behind it. You don't see the late nights. You don't see the crying in the bathroom while I'm taking a shower. You don't see me pinching in my purse to come up with some crumbs so that I can make sure you got a meal. You don't see the struggle of me going to a job every day and being called a name. You don't see that part. You see the glimmer and the glams. And on the background, our youth are struggling with the same thing, because they may not be getting those Jordans that just came out, or they may not have their hair done today and their hair is nappy on top. So they may be getting bullied or getting picked on because of their appearance. So we're all battling the same battle. But mental health wise, how are you coping? What is your safe place? What are you doing to make sure you're good? Destiny, you raised your hand. Did you have a question? I'm sorry.
I think it was when you asked who was Kevin Gates.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. Over the course of your life, if you experience mental health problems, your thinking, your mood, your behavior could be affected. Many factors contribute to mental health problems, including biological factors such as gene and brain chemistry, life experiences such as trauma or abuse, family history of mental health problems. Mental health problems are common, but help is always available. People with mental health problems can get better and many recover completely. But a lot of people don't realize that. It's not a one and done. It's not a I'm depressed and that's it, the world is over. It's not over because there's always someone there to step in to help you, to tell you that you're doing okay. And sometimes as a youth, all you just really want is somebody to listen or give you a hug or tell you that it's going to be okay, baby. You got this. So right now, I am going to be that beacon of voice to you all and tell you that you got this, baby. It's going to be okay. And I'm giving you a whole virtual hug from my house to yours. Wherever you may be, you got this. It don't matter what yesterday was, you got this. Today, you got this. Tomorrow, you'll still have it. And every day forward for the rest of your life, you got it. We are here to support you. There is always help available. No matter where you are in the world, there is help. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys some information that you can use. So they came out with a new suicide hotline number, which we can use 988. So 988 is the number if you want to talk to a counselor, okay? It is always available. If you guys feel like you're in need and you want to talk to somebody fast, you can call 988, or you can reach out to Mobile Crisis. So Palm Beach County has a mobile crisis line that we use for youth that may be in trouble. I'm going to give you that number too. Or you can always call 211. So do not feel like 211 is just if you're lost and you're trying to find a business. It is not. It is a number that you can call if you need help in the community, if you need community resources, if you need, like financial assistance, you can call 211. If you need to get connected to a counselor, you can call 211. If you need to speak with somebody about mental health issues, 211 is always a good reference to use, okay? So give me 1 second and I will give you guys the number for Mobile Crisis. In your schools, if you're trying to get in contact with somebody, you can reach out to your behavioral health professional, your school counselor. If there's a co-located therapist on campus, your parent will have to give permission. So the form that we use in the school district is a parental consent form for counseling. So we can give you counseling on campus, or we can refer you out to community agencies if you feel like, you want to go to somebody aside from the school district, okay? So the number for Mobile Crisis for Palm Beach County is 561-382-3555, okay? So always remember that you have support. Nothing dealing with your mental health is too small or too big that you don't have somebody that can support you in that situation. Always remember that. Make sure that you are comfortable with going to your parents, because sometimes that is your first line of defense because that person is right there in the home with you. But I know a lot of people don't have that relationship with their parents. And if you don't have that relationship with your parents, you could have a blended family, or you could live with your grandparents or your aunt or a friend, or you could be in foster care. Whatever your family situation looks like, it's not the end of the world because you still have someone that cares. Okay? And support, like I said, is always available. Some of the early warning signs when we think about mental health is eating or sleeping too much or too little, pulling away from people and usual activities, having low or no energy at all, feeling numb or like nothing matters, having unexplained aches and pains, feeling helpless or hopeless, doing things that you don't normally do, like smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual, pain medication also, feeling unusually confused, forgetful, on edge, angry, upset, worried, or scared, yelling or fighting with family and friends, experiencing severe mood swings that cause problems in your relationships, having persistent thoughts and memories you can't get out of your head, hearing voices or believing things that are not true, thinking of harming yourself or others, the inability to perform daily tasks like taking care of your kids or getting to work or school, or inability to take care of yourself. If you're sleeping and all you're doing is sleeping, you don't want to do anything but sleep or stay in your room with your door closed, these are warning signs that you need to reach out to your children to see what is going on. Reach out to your students, even if they're doing this in your class. If they're always hungry or they don't want to eat, it could be signs of a potential eating disorder. Or if they're not sleeping at home and they're sleeping in class a lot, they may not be getting a lot of rest at home. These are questions to help you identify, what if this youth is the homeless and they have nowhere to sleep? What if they haven't taken a bath and they're coming to school and they're dirty and their clothes are dirty? Every school has a clothing closet with uniforms that get donated if you're at a Title I school. Okay, so you can always go and say, hey, is your school counselor there? I need some clothes for little Johnny because, you know, we're homeless or we're struggling right now. Build relationships. Once you're building those relationships, then you'll be able to identify what the needs are of the youth that you service. And a lot of times people don't go to the church because they don't want to be judged. I don't want to go to my church and be judged because of my situation, and what I'm portraying on Sunday is not the same thing that's actually happening in my house. I don't want to be judged by my family because they feel like I think I'm better than them because we have a house and we don't live in the hood anymore. It doesn't matter what your situation is. We want to be non-judgmental people at all times because it could be you tomorrow and it could be me today. You don't know where I am in my life and I don't know where you are, so we don't want to judge each other. Does that make sense to you guys? Even as a youth, you are battling so many things on a daily basis. The biggest thing that you should be facing is enjoying your youth. Enjoy life. Practice self-care. Do not let any of the nominal things that you should be thinking about be because you're thinking about, oh, how we're going to have our lights on next month, or what are we going to eat? Talk to somebody, be open, share your feelings, share your thoughts. If you are having any of these warning signs, please reach out to somebody to support you with that. We are always here. We are in this together at all times. Myth versus a fact. A myth. Mental health problems don't affect me. Fact. Mental health problems are actually very common. In 2020, about 1 in 5 American adults experience a mental health issue. 1 in 6 young people experience a major depressive episode. 1 in 20 Americans live with a serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia or major depression. Myth. Children don't experience mental health problems. Fact. Even very young children may show early warning signs of mental health concerns. These mental health problems are often clinically diagnosable and can be a product of the interaction of biological, psychological, and social factors. Half of all mental health disorders show first signs, before a person turns 14 years old. And 3/4 of mental health disorders begin before age 24. Okay? Very, very important information. So when you think about it, a lot of people experience situations that arise from mental health, and most times they don't share them. So 1 in 6 young people experience a major depressive episode. Does anybody know what that means? Any of my youth, have you ever heard of the term depressive episode? Easy. Anxiety. How many people get anxious? That's an example of a depressive episode. A lot of people, and for me, I get anxious when I take tests. I hate testing. Hate it, hate it, hate it. You know, you study, and then you get there and you're like, my mind just went blank. It happens to the best of us. It's okay. You just got to find ways to calm yourself. You can practice calming techniques to help you with that. Okay? Study, but don't overstudy. I know some of you guys have heard of that, because sometimes we study so much and then we're like, yeah, I'm done. I got it. But then right before the test, you go back and you study some more. Your anxiety is coming up some more. Feeling hopeless. You could go into a depressive episode when you feel hopeless, like I have nothing to live for. I'm not good enough. All kind of stuff like that. So think about that. Fatigue, a loss of interest in things, you know, and you go into a depressive episode. You could have had something traumatic happen to you, like a death in your family, and then you're triggered by something that happens that brings back that memory of how you felt. You know, my friend lost her mom, and every time around the same time of year that her mom passed away, she goes into this depressive episode because she's having flashbacks of finding her mom deceased in the home, or she's seeing, you know, how her mom looked, or somebody else had a death and it triggered that memory for her. So there are a lot of different things that can send you into a depressive episode, okay? Unfortunately, only half of children and adolescents with diagnosable mental health problems receive the treatment they need. Early mental health support can help a child before problems interfere with other developmental needs. Myth: people with mental health problems are violent and unpredictable. How many people have heard that? Oh, she just crazy. That's the crazy lady. She crazy. She don't worry, but you don't mess with her because she'll hurt you. People with mental health disorders are more likely to harm themselves than others. That is 100% a myth. Nobody that's having a mental health crisis is gonna just come up to you and just hurt you, okay? If you go up to them and they feel like they may be in harm, they might hurt you, but just outright doing it, yeah, definitely a myth. Fact: the vast majority of people with mental health problems are no more likely to be violent than anyone else. Most people with mental illness are not violent, and only 3 to 5% of violent acts can be attributed to individuals living with a serious mental illness. In fact, people with severe illnesses are over 10 times more likely to be victims of violent crime than the general population. You probably know someone with a mental health problem and don't even realize it, because many people with mental health problems are highly active and productive members of our communities. There are people that are living with mental health problems that do every job you can think of, and they're functioning, okay? I used to tell all of my friends that the job that I wanted to do since I have been in mental health is to work at the state mental health hospital, because I feel like I could sit there and observe them and find out so much more about people living with mental illness. They're not going to harm me. half of them probably don't even know where they are in the world in that place. But the average person wouldn't say they would go work at a mental health hospital because they would be scared, like, oh my God, those people are crazy. They're going to hurt you. They're going to fight you and beat you. And it's based off a lot of things of what they see in movies and on, you know, social media, nothing specifically that they've seen and witnessed from working with that type of population. Okay, so we have to open our minds up when we think about mental illness and mental health. Myth: personality weakness or character flaws cause mental health problems. People with mental health problems can snap out of it if they try hard enough. So I'm losing it. I'm in a mental health crisis and I could just say, hi, I'm back. You didn't miss me. I didn't go anywhere. It doesn't work like that. If you're having a deep mental health crisis episode, you're not going to snap your fingers and the person is going to be fine. It is going to take time and counseling and treatment, and depending on the type of mental health illness the person has, they may also need medication. But I can't tell you that. You have to go and find out for yourself. You got to go seek treatment, because what your treatment plan is going to look like is going to be different than your friends or your cousins or your uncle who's been suffering with mental illness since he was 25. Everybody's treatment plan is going to be different. Okay, fact: mental health problems have nothing to do with being lazy or weak, and many people need to get help to get better. Many factors contribute to mental health problems, including biological factors such as genes, physical illness, injury, or brain chemistry, life experiences such as trauma or a history of abuse, family history of mental health problems. People with mental health problems can get better and many recover completely. Okay, so let's look at that. Family history of mental health problems. This is when you need to talk to your families to find out their medical history. Does anyone in your family have any mental health problems? Did your grandmother have any mental health problems? Is there any history of abuse or neglect or trauma in your family that can contribute to you having mental health problems the older you get? Is it something that has been undiagnosed? Is your family self-medicating without medication? Meaning you're just going through the motions. Whenever you have an episode, you just turn the other cheek and say, it'll be okay. I'm gonna just pray about it and they're gonna be fine. It doesn't work like that a lot of times. You could pray. I'm definitely telling you to pray about it, but you also need to seek medical help if it's getting to the point that you cannot control what's happening to you in your home or in the community. If your child is experiencing anything that relates to being a mental health problem, take your child to see a doctor, someone who deals with it specifically. You could start out with your pediatrician. We are always referring our families back. Go see your pediatrician and see what's going on. They can help you get to the right person that you need. If it's something neurological that's going on, they can give you a referral to go see your neurologist or whoever you need to see to help you figure out what's happening to your child. Life experiences. If you're in a bad situation, get out. It is not that easy to say and do. It doesn't work like that. I could tell you all day, if you're in a bad situation and you're in an abusive situation, go get help, girl. Get out of there. Get your children out of there. They don't need to be seeing it. But you still have to want it. You have to want it for your children and for yourself. There is help to help everybody. And once you take that step, you can then also get help for your whole family. But it starts at home. If there's something happening regarding trauma, abuse in your home, and I'm speaking directly to our youth, go and tell someone. There's this big saying that has been, and I'm speaking about the African American community because I'm African American, and I know this is happening in my upbringing, where you're being told that what happens in your house stays in your house. I hear you, But at the same time, if it is something and you need help, I don't care what's happening in your house, you go tell somebody, because no one can help you if they don't know how to help you or that there is a problem. It is not always the what happened here stays here. Stop telling your kids that. Change the narrative. Tell them to go get help, because guess what? Them going to get help may save you from that traumatic situation you're in. Your child may be the voice that you need to get you some help, because mentally you are messed up, especially if that's been happening for a long period of time. Okay? I need you to scream to the top of your lungs that my mom needs help. My dad has a problem. We need some support. Myth versus fact. There is no hope for people with mental health problems. Once a friend or family member develops mental health problems, he or she will never recover. Myth. Recovery is always available. It is not the end if you find out your friend has a mental health problem. Do not stop being that person's friend, whether you're a youth or an adult, because guess what? You might be the only support that has kept pushing them this far. You are the reason why I come to school every day, because I know I'm going to see my friend Austin. You are the reason that I'm still participating in volleyball, because Nevaeh was the first person I met on the team. You never know what your presence is to another youth or to a youth as an adult. We gotta make those connections. It's all about building relationships with people. Studies show that people with mental health problems get better and many recover completely. Recovery refers to the process in which people are able to live, work, learn, and participate fully in their communities. There are more treatment, services, and community support systems than ever before, and they work. The governor has passed a bill in the state of Florida so that mental health is getting prioritized. It is at the top of the list across the country. It is being talked about more than it has ever in life. So many more people know what mental health is just because it's being advertised. The sad part about it is that there have been some very traumatic events that have happened to bring mental health to the forefront, but we don't want it to ever leave. We want it to stay here. We want people to know what it is and be able to identify it with their eyes closed. We want you to share about it with your friends, okay? Make sure you let them know that I support you. I'm here for you. We're in this together. Myth. Therapy and self-help are a waste of time. Why bother when you could just take a pill? That is never the answer. Therapy and self-help, self-care are pivotal to you being a positive person in your community. Pivotal to you learning in a positive environment. Because guess what? You may not have a licensed therapist that you're seeing, but you may go talk to your teacher every single day for an hour. She's giving you some self-care right there. That is your time to vent what's happening to you. And that is her time to give you some support strategies to help you make it through your day. It could be something as simple as a check-in, check-out system. Check in every day, check out every afternoon. This is a goal that I'm going to start with. So with my students, I always tell them, what is your goal for today? Tell me 3 things you can do to make your day go well. And at the end of the day, we can recap on those 3 things. And if you only got one thing accomplished, guess what? You still did a good thing, because you didn't give up and say, forget it. I didn't get anything done. It's okay, whatever. You still stuck to one of the 3 goals you made for the day. We could work on the 2 the next day until you've gotten to the point that you've accomplished every goal that you've set for yourself that week. And then you start fresh with a new set of goals for the next week and the next week, and so on and so forth. Fact. Treatment for mental health problems varies depending on the individual and could include medication, therapy, or both. Many individuals work with a support system during the healing and recovery process. Fact. Treatment varies. Like I said before, my treatment plan and your treatment plan will always look different because our needs are different. If I'm a person that's on drugs and I go to drug rehab, but while I'm in drug rehab, I'm also getting therapy for my mental health versus you going to therapy just for mental health, our goals are going to be different for our treatment because our needs are different. Just like your needs in the schools are different for each child. That child might have an IEP. And for families that don't know what IEP is, that's an individualized education plan. So you may need a little extra support because you're not intellectually there. So we're going to put some supports and some accommodations in place for you, okay? It could be for behavior that you need some extra support. You may be a kid that has ADHD and you struggle with being in your seat for a long period of time. So some of your accommodations may be to give you breaks or to take you out of the class and, you know, walk around and let you get up and jump up and down for 5 minutes and come back into the class. You may be a kid that needs the thing when you're taking the iReady test or any kind of test on the computer. You may need headphones and you may need the computer to talk to you or read the questions to you. That may be an extra accommodation that you need, but you got to be able to identify what your children need. If your child needs a 504 plan, you need to go talk to your school ESC coordinator. Find out what your child's needs are. What are their weaknesses? What are they struggling with in class? Talk to their teachers weekly. Some teachers use Remind. Some teachers use other programs. So find out what kind of system your teachers have in place to communicate with their parents and make sure you go sign up. The biggest thing that I want parents to do, stop blocking the school district's phone number from your phone. Because when we are calling, and we're not always calling to give you bad news, but stop blocking the calls. And then we're like, dang, we've been calling this lady for 2 years and we never get her. Because guess what? We're just going to go down your call list and call every number until we get someone to say, hey, we need Lisa to come to school. Little Johnny not feeling good. Stop blocking the numbers. And you know, you guys know I'm not lying. That is like, I hate calling a parent and I can't get them. And then when I see you in the car pickup, you're like, oh girl, I blocked that number. No, ma'am, it's not okay. Myth, prevention doesn't work. It is impossible to prevent mental illnesses. Fact, prevention of mental, emotional, and behavior disorders focuses on addressing known risk factors, such as exposure to trauma that can affect the chances that children, youth, and young adults will develop mental health problems. Promoting the social, emotional well-being of children and youth leads to higher overall productivity, better educational outcomes, lower crime rates, stronger economies, lower healthcare costs, improved quality of life, increased lifespan, improved family life. Prevention works. It works at all areas. In school, we teach about social emotional learning. We teach children how to identify behaviors. We teach them how to identify bullying, what it is, what it is not. We talk about suicide. We talk about all of these risk factors, you know, things that are happening in their communities every day, real life situations, because we want them to know about it and not just get exposure from social media and take that to be the word or their Bible. Because a lot of kids, what they see on social media, it is the Bible. It is unspoken truth, and nobody can tell me different. And that is not true. Make sure you are pouring into your child, because you are the first knowledge that they're going to get. And it is not social media. You don't want them to learn about drugs or suicide or whatever is happening in the world from just social media. Give them a clear understanding of your expectations and what is the difference, because it is very much aligned. Okay. What is recovery? Recovery from mental disorders and or substance abuse disorder is a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, strive to achieve their full potential, develop a recovery plan also. If you're struggling with a mental health problem, you may want to develop a written recovery plan. So when I talk about social emotional learning, we use the Castle Doctrine. And this is an example of what SEL framework looks like in the community, families and caregivers, schools and classrooms. So social emotional learning is centered around self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, social awareness. Okay? So these are all the things that are being discussed when I talk about social and emotional learning. You got to be responsible and own your actions. Your relationship skills, what does that look like? How do you build relationships with your friends, with your family, with strangers? Are you that youth that if a new student started today, would you go up to them and say, hey, my name is Hope, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from? We don't do that enough. We just see people and we'll walk by. We won't even say, hey, good morning, how you doing? It does not hurt for you to stop and take a minute to acknowledge another person. Self-awareness, who am I? What am I feeling? Who are you? What are you feeling? It matters. Self-management, how do I respond to my feelings? When you get upset, what is your response? Do you tear everything up in your house? Do you cry? Do you hover in a corner? How do you respond? Social awareness, who are we? Who are you? Relationship skills, how do we connect? How do you connect with others in your community, in your church, in your school, in your neighborhood? How do you connect with them? Like I told you guys, I live in Port St. Lucie. So on my street, in my neighborhood, we recently had a block party. I've never had a block party in my neighborhood in my life. Again, I'm from Belgrade. I'm from the hood. We don't do that kind of stuff over there. You might have a get together with your friends or your family, but this was amazing. My neighbors from 2-3 streets over, they came over, they brought food, we cooked, we talked. It was community, okay? How do we connect? We connected by our neighbors just fellowshipping. That's the same way we connect in church. You go fellowship with God, you have a good old grand time, you go home and you cook your good meal, right? That's what we do. How do you connect with your school? I go to school and sometimes I do that lady work. Or I go chill with my homies. That's how you're connecting. But what are you getting out of that relationship other than just the education? Okay? We got to dig deeper. That is the goal, to dig deeper. How do our choices impact ourselves and others? Responsible decision making. We got to analyze. The choices that you make impact everybody, okay? If you go into Miss Johnson's class and you tear her class up because you saw the TikTok challenge of the devious licks, okay? Oh yeah, I know y'all looking like, oh, here she go. Oh yeah, the devious licks challenge. You go tear up these people's school and you get caught. You on camera. And they done called me Smith and said, yeah, we saw Austin on the camera. He done pulled the toilet out of the boys' bathroom into the middle of the main hallway. So now we're going to send you the bill for Austin doing the devious lick challenge that he saw on TikTok. Miss Smith don't want to hear that because she like, I'm not paying nothing. Right? Who is responsible? How did your choice to go and participate in the devious lick challenge affect your school and your family? And now everybody's talking about you because you done made the Channel 5 news. And then the church, they saying, girl, did you see Andrea's son on TV last night? He just got in trouble. Our actions affect everybody. And if you don't want to be the center of attention for doing something bad, then think about your actions. Change your environment. Change the people that you're hanging out with, because boo-boo them, they might not be the best good friends to have in school because they like to skip school and they like to go in class and don't do their work. But Kareem over here, he doing all he could do to be the best student in the class. You think he the teacher's pet, but guess what? Kareem is not doing anything bad. And Kareem trying to get you to come on this side. Come on, Austin, come hang with us. We're the cool kids. We have good time, but we get our work done also. Okay? Coping skills. Make an appointment to have an evaluation completed if you feel like your child is having some mental health issues. It is okay. If you don't know where to go, reach out to the supports in your school. Talk to the school counselor, the BHP, the co-locator. Go talk to the principal. He may be able to steer you back to those same people. Stick to a treatment plan. If you go and have your child evaluated and they tell you these are the next recommendations we have for you, the next steps, stick to that plan, even if your child starts to feel better. Or if the doctor prescribes medication, don't stop going to the doctor or taking the medication without the doctor's guidance and support. And if your child starts taking medication, let the school know so they can monitor the behavior and report back, hey, you said little Johnny took the medication at 7 o'clock. Well, little Johnny is groggy. He's sleepy. So you may want to go back and talk to that doctor because the medication is making little Johnny sleepy. So I can't get him up. Or if by 12 o'clock the medication has worn off, that teacher can tell you these things, but it has to be a relationship there for the teacher to know that they should be monitoring little Johnny. Okay? Keep your primary physician updated. Okay? Learn about the disorder. If you've not been diagnosed, speak with a professional. Do not go talk to your neighbor who the hood chick that thinks she knows how to diagnose somebody. Take your child to a professional. Oh, I seen that on TV last night on Lifetime. The little boy was scratching his head and banging his head. Oh, he got some problems. She does not know. We got to stop listening to people in the community and go and get professional help because everybody does not know the best regimen for your child. And sometimes as the parent, you don't either. That's why we're going to the professionals that can give us the best advice. Practice self-care. Okay, practice self-care every single day. You're going to be living life to the fullest. When you need a break, take a break. My youth, if you need a break, take a break. If you need, can I go see the nurse? Can I go see the school counselor? Can I make an appointment to talk to the principal? I need some support. Reach out to your family and friends. If you are not close to your family, reach out to your friends. If you don't have any friends, talk to a coworker. If you're a youth in school and you don't have any friends, talk to your teacher. Your teacher can help you find a group of kids to get to know and see what you guys have in common. Get enough sleep. Your sleeping pattern affects your mood. If you are restless, it will show in your face, in your body language, in your work that you're doing. If you're an adult or a youth, it's going to show. Practice breathing techniques, mindfulness activities, engage in a hobby, journal, listen to music, start a healthcare regimen, go walking. You can even walk around the mall and window shop. A lot of different things. Spend time with your kids. Go on a trip. Take that PTO. Okay? This was the first year, and I pride myself on this. It was the first year ever that when we got out of school in May, I had no more PTO because I used it all. I was like, if I die today or tomorrow, that PTO is going to still be sitting there. And I usually go into the summer with about 40 hours left. Take a day. Take a mental health day, and you can call it just that. I'm taking a mental health day from school, Mom. I need it. I'm taking a mental health day from work, Mom. Whatever it is, take the day. You need that time. Go to the beach. Yes, go to the beach. These are some community resources for you, okay? The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. There are a lot of veterans out there that are struggling in silence and they're not getting the help. So there's also a veteran crisis line. Like I said, 211. NAMI is very, very prevalent in our community, you guys. So please reach out to them. Boca Raton's Promise, the United Way, strengthofus.org. There are so many opportunities out there. We do in May, we celebrate that it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So all Mental Health Awareness Month in May, we live, eat, sleep, breathe mental health, okay? There's a teen help guide with 211 as well for our teens. So there's a lot of options out there for you. And like I said, the schools have so many. If your family is facing homelessness or you're already homeless, the school district has a program through the McKinney-Vento program, and it helps families get the stuff that they need as far as uniforms, supplies, if you need transportation. They do referrals to community organizations out there. There's always support. At my school, we do the weekend meals where I give my students a meal for the weekend, and it's all non-perishable food, and it's through the Palm Beach County Food Bank. So check with your schools if you need foods, like extra food for the weekend, and you can probably see if they're doing that as well, okay? These are some other phone numbers for you guys. South County Mental Health Center, the Mobile Crisis Number, Center for Child Counseling, Seacrest Recovery Center, it's a rehab. Legacy Behavioral Health is in Palm Beach County. Restore Wellness Counseling Center is located in Royal Palm. Stratford Counseling and Consulting, JFK North Hospital. You know, Glaze H&J Agency is my own agency in which I provide mental health services. So there's always resources available, you guys. Check with some of the fraternities and sororities in the area. They offer support. The National Coalition of 100 Black Women, they provide support to Black and brown girls, you know, in the community. They service the area. There's a chapter in South Palm Beach County, and there's also one in West Palm. There's so much help out here for you guys. You just have to reach out or be willing to take the next initiative. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to share, anything you did not like, you love, whatever it is, this is your moment to speak your piece. The floor is open. Austin, Nevaeh, you guys, thank you so much for being my examples. None of this happened with these kids. They were just names that I saw on my screen, and I just used them when I was talking. So you guys are such a great sport.
Hope, I have to say this has been an excellent presentation. Wow, so much information. I absolutely loved how the youth were, they were participating in the chat. You gave us so much information. Parents, I think you got a lot of information here. Please, 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 you can even go back to Oasis Church International website. You can go to Oasis Community Development site, oasiscommunitydc.org. That is our site. You can go there and play this again. My Facebook, and we're friends on Facebook. I am Lisa Johnson. This was just phenomenal. There was so much information given. What's going on behind the smile? I think that was just so awesome. Oh, parents, our children may be smiling, or they may be quiet. What's going on behind that smile? We want to know that. Children, let's speak up. Let's talk. Fill your bucket. That is so good. We're talking about self-care, resources. Fill your bucket. Get the coping skills. Don't stress the mess. I absolutely love that. I think we need to maybe make that a banner on our phone, make that a banner in our bathrooms. Frequently visit places. FVP, frequently visit places. Let's put that. Don't stress the mess. That is so good. Build relationships. So I know it is so easy to shy away and isolate ourselves when we're going through some difficult times, issues, mental health issues. I love how you mentioned the major depressive episodes, because I don't think there's a lot of people that were aware that anxiety falls under a major depressive episode, feeling hopeless, fatigue, not eating, I mean, it's just so much, and I know the list goes on and on. So I know that there were some who have lost family members recently, because I lost my sister, and there's some on the line that's in the same family, and it's difficult. So just hearing that you can go out there, get help, go and seek counseling, talk to someone. I like how you brought out who is your safe buddy for young people, even the little ones. I think it's good that parents do talk to their little ones and talk about who is your buddy. That's the person that you can, talk to, because little ones come home and they talk to their parents. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, we don't know how the children may be feeling, especially those little ones. You got this. Absolutely love it. You got it. You got it. You can have it. If you don't have it after this, we're going to definitely get some help for you. And we are your resource. Oasis Community Development Center, Ms. Hope Kleckley, and she has her own business as well. And there was a list of businesses. I am going to ask for that information from you, and we will put it on our site as well. Hope, you even mentioned the Veterans Crisis Line for those that have veterans in your family. I like how you mentioned the behavioral health professionals in the school resource officers. And this one, I was hoping you went back to it, and you did, is the co-locator. So I do have a question about what is a co-locator, just for those of us that don't know what a co-locator is. Okay. Family support, getting positive support, not self-medicating yourself. That is so good. Yell and tell. I think my pastor put that in the text. Yell and tell somebody. Check in and out. I love it. I love it, Hope. Check in and out. Do that with your children. If they need to check in and out on a daily basis with their teachers, let them check in and out. Gone are the days where we don't want our children to reach out and talk to someone. I would rather my children and grandchildren talk to someone than no one at all. We know the suicide rates are just like skyrocketing right now. Gone are those days. Remind, tell us a little bit about that app as well. So Hope, I got 2 questions for you. The co-locator and the Remind, communication with parents, dig deeper. The choices you make affects everyone, children. And then she went over the K-Cell doctrine. This was just awesome. Thanks so much, Hope. So if you would just answer my questions, and parents, if you have any questions, children, if you have any questions, and we will be letting you go in a few minutes. We did get started late, but this is awesome. And you have Kimberly Parker. My sister said this is really great, especially for our community. Oftentimes our family just tell people to pray. Absolutely. This is the ultimate, along with having a supportive outlet. So yes,
so
absolutely.
Co-located therapists are on the campus in most of the schools in Palm Beach County. So all of those are therapists they work for an agency in the community, but they're housed on a school campus. Okay. So most of the time, if I receive, so I'll just use my school. So if I receive a referral from a teacher saying, hey, Juwan needs some services because he's struggling with coming to school late a lot, or he's tardy, or he's absent, period. Okay. So I can send a referral to my co-located therapist, say, hey, how about we meet with Juwan and see what some of the struggles he's having so we can get him to school on time. That is going to also involve meeting with the parent to also get some background information to see, hey, what's going on? Mom could have had her car lost. She could have had an accident, no longer have a car. She could be homeless. There are a lot of factors that we can help figure that out together. So that's what we refer our students to, our co-located therapists. If there is a co-located therapist on the campus, they have a caseload. So they see anywhere between, I think, 16 to 22 students at a time, and they're all allowed 12 sessions. And so you don't have to actually go and take them in the community. They can see the child on campus once a week. Awesome. So it's a really good service to have. Remind app. A lot of teachers use the Remind app, and it's just an app to be able to chat with parents about what's going on with their student. So some people use Class Dojo. Some people use Remind. Some people just text parents. It just depends on the preference. But I would say make sure you have some kind of contact with your child's teacher. My children go to school in St. Lucie County this year. So as an educator, I was calling school like, hey, can you give me the teacher's email? So I email and I tell them, hey, this is my cell phone number. I'm a school counselor. So sometimes I might be in the class teacher, or I may be around the campus, you know, doing different things or groups with students. So call me or text me. That's better than emailing me because I'm not available. And some teachers tell me, hey, I'm available after this time because my students are gone, my duty is done, and I'm free. So it's just all about communicating with the teachers, like what is the best way to contact you. Some teachers also set up a Google Voice number. So they don't want to give out their personal number. They'll set up a Google Voice number and it'll come directly to their cell phone, but it's just a number that hides their original number. So there's multiple ways to keep in contact.
Awesome, awesome. That is very good information. Tamara said, thank you for stressing the importance of self-care. This is a parent. Most of the older kids think that they're invincible and don't need less than self-care. That's so important, but they have so much on their plates and this is vital for them to succeed and keep their minds clear. So thank you so much for stressing that as well.
You're welcome.
Students go to bed.
Parents need to also know that on the elementary, middle, and high school level, we are tasked, because it is from the governor, that we have to talk about mental health in the schools. We have to talk about substance use in the school. So this is something that came out as a result of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas traumatic incident that happened at their school. So now we have to talk about these things. So kids in grades K through 12 are getting this exposure. It is a part of their curriculum once a year. So we are having these discussions and we are doing social emotional learning on every level with these students. So we're constantly feeding into them how important it is to know about your mental health and practice self-care.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Hope.
You're welcome.
If you have any students that would like to ask a question or even thank Ms. Hope, have just a comment. Students. So if you want to speak, you can come off of mute.
Thank you, Austin and Andrea. You guys have been such a good sport. I use you both.
Thanks for the presentation. You spoke really well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. That was at Robert. Thank you. Thank you.
That was Robert.
Oh, that was
Thanks,
Robert. Okay. All right. That's our pastor's nephew. So thank you so much. I just like to also just make mention again that this information is here. We also have a young, a lady here by the name of Cheryl. She hosted this huge backpack along with Councilperson Douglas Lawson in the city of Riviera Beach with Sincere 2000. And Cheryl, if you would just, do you mind just speaking just a couple, like a minute about your organization, just as a resource as well. Also next month, we will be speaking about nutrition and mental health. So youth, we have another 8 hours for you next month, September, and I will send out the information and flyer over the next week or so. So again, it is nutrition and mental health. In October, we will be doing mental health and domestic violence and have a speaker for that one. I also want to get Cheryl in. I have some sorority sisters. I believe her information was listed up there as well. Stafford Counseling, Katie Stafford. So yes, we have so many resources. Oasis Community Development Center was just partnering with a local church in Lake Worth, which I spoke about the church and mental health. So it is so important that we as a Black community understand that most of us was raised in the church and it is more about praying. Yes, we want to pray. And I put it in a little chat earlier earlier. We're going to pray for that little boy that you was talking about in school. We're going to pray for him and we're going to get him some help. So we're not going to judge him, but we will pray for him at Oasis. NAMI of Palm Beach County. Most of you know that I stand on the board as the vice president there. We are in the community, and NAMI has a grant has a grant that has hired a diversity and inclusion coordinator that is going to most of the churches. If she can get to all of them, she will, in the Black community, to talk about mental health and the resources that NAMI provides, and it is free. So that's another resource that's available on August 26th and 27th. I would say primarily August 27th. We will be at the Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church in West Palm Beach, Florida. NAMI will be presenting along with the faith-based leaders, some faith-based leaders and mental health professionals. And we encourage all the youth, we encourage pastors and clergy to please come. Parents, please come and attend on that day. It's from 8 a.m. to 4. They are also looking for youth volunteers, and we will be giving out community service hours as well to those youth that will volunteer to register, to be greeters, as well as clean up. So again, that's Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church next Saturday. So Cheryl, would you please speak, because I'm calling you on the carpet. You don't have to come on camera if you cannot, but if you could just please tell about your organization.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I was actually getting my hair washed. So I'm done with that now. So I can't come on camera, but I can tell you that it has been amazing just listening to you all for the part I was able to get in on. Our foundation is Sincere 2000 Foundation. We're geared towards mental health awareness and suicide prevention. We lost our 17-year-old in 2018 to suicide. So what we do is we have a lot of different events that gear towards raising awareness, intervention, prevention, and letting people know that it's okay not to be okay, letting the youth know that if you are not feeling okay, that it's all right to speak out and tell somebody, but the most important thing is just allowing others to know that we are here for them. There are resources that are available. If you visit sincere2000.org, you get to hear about Sincere's story. His name is Sincere. He was born in 2000. That's why it's called Sincere 2000. But what we do is we want to make sure that no other family has to go through, what we went through. So we always are having, different events. Actually, on November the 5th, we're going to have a Boxing for a Cause event where we have boxers from Palm Beach Boxing. They come out and they'll be boxing, but all the proceeds go towards the nonprofit so that we're able to give our mental health therapy sessions. Because if people call us and they're unable to pay for their session, we have 7 to 8, and actually a little bit more, of licensed doctors and therapists that are on hand that we will assist with payment. Some of them do their stuff pro bono. So we have a lot of resources for our youth, families, and community.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl. And it's my sincere condolences for what your family, you and your family have experienced. But I have to say that you have taken your pain and you have really turned it into much gain for the community. And I so appreciate that. I also like to say a big thank you to my pastor of Oasis Church International. She's my pastor, she's my friend, and we have come together since 2018, to start this mental health awareness for our community. And we have our 501c3 Oasis Community Development Center. We have a great mentorship program, and we are always providing resources, tools, and information and awareness to the community. So a big Thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity. And we look forward to partnering with all of you so we can just help our community. The stigma, I believe, is like gone by now, but we still got a lot of work in the Black community. So thank you, guests. Thank you, parents. Thank you, children. You all have been wonderful. Thank you, Cheryl, for at least being able to get on. And a big thank you to Hope. Thank you so much. For those of you that may be watching and even wondering, what about the event that we were going to have in May? It was right around the time that I lost my sister, so we had to cancel that. It would be, Hope was one of our speakers. It would be in March, and we will be getting that information to you as well. It would be in March, and this was a huge event that we were having for parents and students regarding mental health, a live event. So we're praying that we will be able to come live in the month of March and bring in all the speakers that we had before. So take care of your mental health, youth and parents. Yell and tell, check in, check out. All right.